On to you, Aries. So you have you Aries have the Five of Cups, the Four of Pentacles, and the Queen of Cups. So a lot of you Aries want to be able to find better. The Five of Cups, oh my gosh. What is going on? Always some sort of noise. Anyway, the Five of Cups is about you Aries having to just kind of date and wait to see essentially what happens, because the quality of the people that you've met so far, not in your entire life, but a little bit, I want to say within the past year or two, has not really been up to par, because the Four of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. There's a sense of you Aries wanting to find something in particular, but you Aries have to make sure that it's for the correct reasons though. In 2022 to the early parts of 2023, it was about saving a bum. So, again, you Aries just want to make sure that the quality of the people that you're meeting and that you're trying to hold on to are not low class trash. Because if they're low class, please allow them to leave you alone if they're trash in the first place. You understand what I'm saying? And since you Aries have been actually striving to do better and get better as far as receive better and everything like that, you've seen that there's a downtick in others, in the sense that they're not as good as they tried to make it seem. But now you Aries have a track record of the quality of the people that you've been messing with, and just how much who you are don't match up with the quality of the people that you hanging out with. If you Aries are gonna say that y'all are decent people, you can't even hang out with indecent people. You gotta abandon them like Ghost from the show Power. You have to abandon them, because birds of a feather flock together. You understand what I'm saying? So if you find yourself hanging out and being overly tolerant of someone that wastes your time, flakes a lot, doesn't really have their stuff together, then no matter how much money you make, you're still one of them, because of how trash they actually are, and you actually putting up with that stuff. You're supposed to be happy to let go of a bum. You're supposed to have your finger on the pulse, like, hey, this person messes up in a big way. And especially if it's at the beginning. If it's at the beginning and this person is showing you that they're trash, come on now, you Aries are supposed to be like, hey, if you mess up, then you're out of here. Because the beginning of the relationship is actually where you're supposed to be the most critical, is the beginning. Because you don't know the person. So you're trying to sniff out to see if the person actually is worth something, or if they're essentially just a waste of your time. So you have to be, you Aries definitely have to examine a situation. But the Queen of Cups, the good part of it is, a lot of you are still willing to actually get to know other people and find out who's out here, right? You're not giving up on that. You Aries are still very much so willing to find out who's out here, talk to some, get to know some people. It's not like you Aries have essentially given up and you're like, bah, humbug. I don't care anymore. Lederhosen. I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? I don't care anymore. Whatever. Trash. And the thing is that the Four of Swords is about how, like I said before, the Four of Swords and the Page of Wands is the realization of your own. It's the realization of what you mean, how you Aries actually matter. Because the Four of Swords speaks to kind of putting aside, well, not kind of, very much so putting aside the kind of lifestyle. Like, your lifestyle has to essentially change, in the sense that you do have to be able to actually put aside the people, including the people that you used to hang out with that you don't anymore, right? When you are on the upslide, when things are getting better for you, if you want to maintain that growth, your life has to change along with it. You can't have musty, dusty, crusty people around you, shady, trifling individuals around you, and all of this that they can do is bring you down, and they don't have allegiance to anyone. They're completely compromised in every shape, form, or fashion, and they're dedicated to stupidity and dysfunction and stuff like this. You can't have those people around you because they will bring you down. And this is what I was talking about how kind of where the conflict was between me and you, Aries, a little bit, because I was telling you, Aries, that there is no such thing as a good bad person. There is no such thing as that. And what I mean by that is, like the bad boys, you can't say that they have good in them, because that's cap. Yes, do they have good in them? Yeah, but they're dedicated to dysfunctionality though. So it's like they do have good in them, but they don't have enough to actually listen to that part of themselves, to where that aspect of themselves becomes the main part of their life. They're only good in the condition of they know how to have fun, and they can kind of be nice to you and cool with you sometimes. Same thing when it comes to the boss, right? The boss chicks. It's the same. It's literally the same type of scenario where it's like, are they good? Yeah, they got good in them, but at the same time, they're not good enough to actually do right. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't be caught hanging out with these people, because what happens when you have a bunch of shady individuals around you, they bring you down with them. These people are useless. They have no value. You'll be hanging around these goofy individuals, and this is why you got the Page of Wands. It's saying that you got to step your game up in the sense of, stop getting caught up with this person has good in them, right? But which part of them do they feed more of is the question. Like, what is their value systems, right? Because I'm seeing that you Aries are getting a little bit trapped up, or a little bit confused, or a little bit caught up with, the good, bad. And it's like, the truth is, everybody has good and bad in them. That's just being alive. Everybody has what? Yin and yang, right? Good and evil, light and darkness in them. But at the same time, it really depends on the choices that we make, and which part of ourselves we feed into more is what shapes the majority of who we are. You understand what I'm saying? So you Aries having problems right now really understanding your self-worth, and understanding that the position that y'all are supposed to be in. A lot of y'all are still having problems letting go of individuals that you kind of know from around the way, or people that you've met, and then you're asking yourselves a little bit too much, why is it that you haven't found the right person for you yet? And like it is that I said before, Aries y'all are a zodiac sign where you must understand, well, what exactly are you fighting for? If you Aries are really fighting to create a real relationship with somebody, then the person they can't be a punk. They can't be a type of person that's weak. They have to have the ability to stand strong, right, as a team with you in a relationship where the two of you, it's the two of y'all against the world. Y'all are partners, captains, teammates, helpmates. Y'all are relationships. Y'all are in this thing. It's a marriage. But I'm not necessarily talking about physically. I'm talking about spiritually as well. But yeah, I guess whatever. But spiritually, it's a marriage. The two of you are tied to one another, right? So you Aries have to know that this is what it is that you want. And if you do know that this is what it is that you want, then the High Priestess and the Two of Wands represents, honestly speaking, then you may then it may require a little bit. Oh my gosh, there's always something literally. but you may have to do a little bit of work. And what I mean when I say you may have to do some work is some of you Aries may have to travel. Some of you Aries may have to legitimately like, um, uh, you may have to travel, to be honest with you. You know, you may have to kind of, you know, get, like I said, get better at being able to kind of excommunicate some people, you know, certain things that you should watch out for to help you along the way of kind of crossing some people off the list so that you stop talking to them so that you don't waste your time, are like people who are raging hypocrites, right? Like if they are, like if they are on some hypocrite type stuff, if they say things and they don't really have a real point to it, there's no real purpose in it. There's no real purpose in the things that they do. You know, like there was for a little while there was this distinction of, oh, you know, men are biologically wired to sleep with as many people as, and it's like, come on, bro. That's not true. We feel like that as teenagers because we don't understand what's going on as far as commitment is concerned. But even then, that's a stretch. You reaching. A person who says that is reaching, because I remember being in my teenage years, and truth be told, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it out loud. The only reason why it is I wanted multiple was because I couldn't find one. I'm over here searching high and low, getting to know, trying to get to know a decent individual to form a spiritual marriage with. Not, of course, not one at that age, but you know, form a spiritual marriage with, be committed to. And it was thotties, dysfunction, problems, worries, trying to climb hypergamy ladders, and like it's snakes and ladders and games and mind games and fist fights and all this other type of crap that came in between me and me just being in a relationship with somebody. So I'm saying all that to say that you have to become better at excommunicating others. I see that a lot of you Aries are stepping your game up in the sense of you're doing what's necessary for you, taking care of your health and your finances and stuff like this. But at the same time, you Aries have a little bit of work to do when it comes to your spirituality, because you Aries really have to start asking yourself some questions that you may have been missing. Like, how are you actually going to go about getting this person that you want? Not anyone in particular per se, as far as by name, but by archetype, right? Characteristics. How are you actually going to go about getting this person? Do you have a plan? Do you plan on traveling? What exactly is going on, right? Like me, because I would potentially like to, you know, of course I would like to be in a long-term relationship, because my relationships in the past, they've never lasted that long, because there was always it was always a story, right? And potentially even have a child. One, I'm not asking for a whole lot here, just one. Me personally, I'm gonna leave the States. And a lot of people think I'm joking, or they think that like I'm not being serious, and I am being serious. Actually, I quite am being serious. I'm done dating in the States. So it's like for me, and then I also know what it is that I'm looking for, right? You Aries are a little bit too caught up with the glamour of how like you're caught up with the glamour of like the butterflies at first, like how this person makes you feel initially. Do they initially make you feel high, right? Like do they make you feel amazing, like you're on cloud nine? And that could be used against you. And this is the thing that you Aries have to watch out for, right? Because you have to, this is what I'm talking about. Character trumps or is above everything else. Finances, everything. There's no exception to that, because if a person has character, finances and social status and all of that literally comes with a person's character. Like you not like a person, like one thing that I'm realizing is that a person who has character is not going to be not known in their neighborhood. Like, people know this person because they know this person is a stand-up individual on both sides, right? So if you have character and stuff like this, whatever kind of belonging value that you have, where you're a part of any kind of groups, and when I mean groups, I'm not talking about them type of groups. I'm talking about like social groups where it's like friends and stuff like this, friends, or how people know you, or like rap, or however people know you, you're gonna be popular if you have honor and integrity, because people are gonna know that you have a generally good reputation, right? Like, they know that you're a real one. So, they're gonna see that about you in the first place. So what I'm suggesting for you Aries to do, right, is that the next thing that you Aries have to do is you have to have a plan. The Eight of Wands and the Six of Wands right here is about what is your plan to actually go about getting the kind of person that you are legitimately looking for? What is your mind state? Are you may have to take a resume, excuse me, not a resume, you may have to take a survey. That's what I was looking for. You may have to take a survey of your mind. Like, are you legitimately open, right? Like, are you willing to take a chance at things not working out, right, between you and somebody else? Are you willing to take a chance that maybe the person is just like kind of parroting you just so that they could get their foot in the door? Are you willing to find someone attractive but not jump to conclusions, and actually take not too much time, obviously, but a little bit of time to get to know? These are questions that you Aries really have to start asking yourself and answering, because when it comes to getting to know somebody and finding out what it is that you want, you have to go through what it is that you don't want a lot of the times, right? Very rarely will someone actually know it and find someone that, get that legitimately does them a good. So just think about stuff like that, right? Now, let's clarify the High Priestess here. So to clarify the High Priestess, you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Judgment, you have the Three of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups, and then you have the Four of Pentacles. So these 5 cards right here for you Aries is the Ace of Pentacles and the Judgment is about, that's another thing too, when it comes to understanding what it is that you want. This is why I tell you Aries that if anybody around you isn't official, and if they're a knucklehead, I'm gonna tell you what it is. They're gonna humiliate you for having standards. If they're not really real, they're gonna make it seem like you Aries are bugging, y'all are losing y'all mind because y'all are crazy to want someone that has honor and integrity. And one thing that I've noticed from my own personal experiences is all of that type of nonsense is cap. Like, this is why it is that I say that I don't get along with a lot of these brothers, and I don't get along with a lot of these sisters. I just stay to myself. I'm a loner at the end of the day, because you really got to question, what is the point of some of these quote unquote brothers, right? Because they ain't my brothers. But for lack of a better term, what is the point of these so-called brothers doing the same thing that the sisters are doing to the other sisters, trying to keep them single? What is that about? That looks kind of sus. So it's like, nobody is going to tell me personally that I don't like somebody. And I'm not going to have anybody set me up on a blind date. I'm not going to have one of my friends do it for me. I'm going to go talk to somebody myself and see if I could get it in, and see if I can make things work with them. And if I can't, forget about it. But I'm not going to be asking somebody, because people like to find the worst type of people for you, talking about how this is a blind date type stuff. So the Three of Cups now and the Seven of Cups is about how, so not only that too, but you also may want to actually get to know more than one person at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that you should be trying to smash all of them. I never said that you should even do that. But what I'm saying to you, Aries, is you should at the very least find out their names and exchange numbers with them to find out and speak to them and find out what type of person they are, right? Potentially even on the phone, you know, call them, find out what it is that they are about, and you know, pay attention to hear if you hear anything in them where it says that these people would be a potential, or if these people are a no-go, if they're a dub. The Four of Pentacles, other than that, just cover your six. Mind your surroundings, take care of yourself, pay attention to what's going on. You know, make sure that you know, goofies don't be taking you out on crazy random dates, taking you to the sticks and all this other type of stuff. Just, you know what I'm saying? Just generally have your head on. That's it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe.